All right. Okay. All right. Good morning, traders. Today is July 10th, 2023. My name is John. I moderate the BYOB trading room. And we're going to take a look at the markets this morning. Okay. For SPY pivot. SPY pivot this morning is 438.35. How did I get that? Go to the 10-minute chart. And I look for the common ground right here. I got a spike there and a low here. So I came in 438. You can see right there about 438.50, 438.35 became the common ground for the SPY. So above that, I'm going to be a bull. Below that, I'm going to be a bear. So that's where we are with the SPY this morning. Now, SPY is currently in, move this out of the way, pull this down, back this out. All right, so we still are in a daily uptrend here in the SPY. But on that note, I think we have a 1-hour downtrend. And we have a 1-hour downtrend with a lower high. So we're again entered another 1-hour downtrend, same as what started last time. Now, as long as I'm going to go over here, as long as our US dollar continues to stay underneath this, see this hump right here, 104.50, we'll just call it 104.50. As long as it stays under 104.50, I'm going to remain bullish. Now, we're coming back down. This happened over the weekend. This right here, see this big drop? So that should provide a little bit of lift for the markets today. That's a nice drop in the dollar. But as long as we stay underneath 104.50, I'm going to still remain bullish on the market. So on that note, that's the dollar. So let's take a look at the economic calendar. Economic calendar, we've got a few Fed speakers today. Nothing really happening tomorrow. The big news happens on Wednesday. We got the CPI data coming out at 8:30 in the morning. And then the beige book at 2. All right. So that's on schedule. So we'll see after they release the CPI whether hedge funds and money managers want to head to safety or if they're going to continue their bullish action that they've had so far. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, FOMC, the federal money managers up there in Washington or Virginia, they have been hawkish in their tone. But their last action, the idea not to raise rates, was very dovish. So don't know how to take them really, whether we should take them for what they say or take them for what they do. Right now, I'm going to continue to take them for whatever action they speak. So we'll see what happens on Wednesday with the CPI data, whether it's improving or not improving. I would think if it does improve inflation, they might continue to not raise rates. But I think if they tick up even the slightest little notch, I think they're going to react to even the slightest little notch. So we'll see what happens. Again, that's just my opinion. We'll see what happens when they start speaking. Right now, we still haven't even got the CPI data, so we can't say anything right now. We'll see what happens when CPI reports on Wednesday morning. So what I think probably is going to happen is we're probably going to meander around at the midpoint in the SPY. If not, come back down here and find a home down here in this low right there. So let's look at the quads. Where's the midpoint? We're kind of currently at the midpoint. I would expect maybe a position down here is possible. And at that point, we will still remain bullish, even if we're in this area. Even if we're in this area here, we still have a trend. We could get some red trend indicator balls back to here. If you notice, here's our line. We could get some red trend indicator balls. It may mean that the trend indicator is in a downtrend, but all in all, we still have an uptrend if we connect the lows that will not have been broken right there. So it could happen that we do get some red trend indicator balls. That doesn't mean that we're in a daily downtrend. We still haven't broken this trend. We will have broken the 17 EMA trend indicator if we do start producing red trend indicator balls, but a pullback to this channel line would be normal. So that may be the safe harbor. And then again, we're a long way from actual support, which is down here at 417, kind of the 417, 420 area. So we'll see what happens. This is the daily chart I'm showing you right now, and we'll go back to the hourly chart over here, and you can see the red hourly chart downtrend with the lower high, and we haven't quite inked out the lower low yet. We do have the lower high. The pressure's on the bears today to produce the lower low. So we'll see what happens, what they want to do with it today, this morning. If they're actually going to go for the lower low and start trading below the midpoint of this rally back towards the highs. So let's take a look at what moves the SPY. And I think the biggest mover of the SPY, in my opinion, is the FNGU. So let's take a look at the FNGU early this morning. Now, FNGU on the daily chart, huge bullish uptrend, kind of extended if you ask me. I'd like it to cool off some. I'd like to see it probably cool off and bull flag for about 2 months. Just my opinion, but I think it's gotten way ahead of itself, and I'd like to see it cool off and bull flag maybe even 2 or 3 months. I know nobody wants to hear that, but it's bullish. It's been overly bullish, and I'd like to see it cool off, let it kind of let things cool off a little bit, and let moving averages kind of catch up to the price action up here. So I'm going to flip to another chart with moving averages on it. And I'm going to hit the daily. And you can see the 50 is way down here. It's about $30 away. So we're a long ways from the 50. And we got a rising 50. So if we do happen to take a trip to that rising 50, you can see it's pulling right into this support zone right here. This would be our minor support. This is our major support. Notice the 50 is pulling into the major support area. So it's a possibility we come down and visit the 50, maybe late this week, maybe next week, I don't know, and then make our way back up to the bull flag area. We'll see what happens. I really don't want to see that happen. I'd like to just see it bull flag and let the 50 catch up to it in about 2 weeks. So there we are with the FNGU. On the daily chart, it's an uptrend. On the hourly chart, I'm going to go back to my other chart here. Here we are on the hourly chart. And we're still in an uptrend, but we've got a lower high on the daily right there. On the hourly, we have a slightly lower high, but we've got a higher low. So it's very possible we could continue up, moving up. We don't have an hourly downtrend yet. So without the hourly downtrend, we don't have a 65, a 78, or a 2-hour, or even the 3-bar or the 4-hour. So we're still in a daily uptrend, not quite an hourly downtrend yet, and we'll see what happens. We've got kind of a slightly lower high right there. That's it. So this is still in bull mode, very much in bull mode. And here's your daily chart. You can see nice green trend indicator balls moving up. And I'd like to see it kind of bull flag. If we take the quads and you use the quads, you measure from the top to the bottom of the last move. So here's our last move right here, top to bottom. And we found our way. We didn't find our way. We went up to the upper third, but now we're coming back to the midpoint. And this is our second trip here at the midpoint. Hopefully we can double bottom here at the midpoint and keep moving up. We'll see what happens with the FNGU. Truthfully, I'd like to see it kind of just start bull flagging for a couple months. I don't mind it making stabs at the highs, but I think we're a little bit overextended in the FNGU. All right, so what else moves the SPY? I'm going to have to say it's the IWM. So here we are with the IWM, still in an uptrend right there. You've got a higher low, but we do have a double top up here. So could we form a W pattern, or are we going to break trend here? So that's the big question coming up. So far the IWM seems to be doing well. And we'll take a look at some of the stuff that does react inside the IWM. Nice day today, challenging the highs, the close of yesterday. Nice green candle yesterday. Notice on the SPY, the difference between the IWM and the SPY. Here's your SPY on your daily. We had a big tail candle, but on the IWM, we didn't quite retrace all the way back down to the bottom there. We kind of held the midpoint, which was a good move for the IWM to hold that midpoint. I'd like to see him hold it again today. So on that note, let's go take a look at T2122. All right, so we were in the buy zone briefly on Friday. And then after the noon hour, we found our way falling out of the buy zone back into the chop zone. So there we are today. But things are looking good. I think it's possible we could put in a trip back into the buy zone sometime today. We'll see what happens. So there's our T2122. Now we'll look at our T2123. And you can see here's the bullish action from Friday. And this is the 15-minute chart. Bullish action from Friday wiped out all of these red trend indicator balls right there. And we only managed to come back this far on Friday. So just a few red trend indicator balls on the 15-minute, the shorter time frame there. Now, if we start seeing this shorter time frame come down here and visit these lows, it might be looking kind of bearish for the IWM. So, but on the 3-bar chart of T2123, still very much green. So longer term chart is still very bullish. The short term chart is struggling right here with holding this highs right there. So we'll take a look at, now we're going to go ahead back and we're going to look at the KRE. The KRE is making higher lows and higher highs. So we'd like to see the KRE make a trip back up over this midpoint and start trading in an area right about in here in the upper third, and then eventually challenge and make a new high. So we'd like to see it get up over the midpoint, hold the midpoint, and then challenge the highs up here and eventually make a new high. That's what we need produced out of the KRE. That's what we need to see. So we'll see what happens. That's our regional banking. That's what caused pretty much a lot of the big drop that happened recently that we experienced from March and April. So this KRE. Let's take a look at SMH. SMH still in a daily uptrend, kind of in bull flag mode, almost putting in a head and shoulders pattern here. Not sure how long they can hold this bull flag, but as long as this bull flag holds up, we make it back over to trend line, I see them probably challenging these highs one more time. Just need to hold this bull flag that we're in currently. So SMH still in bull mode. Even though we've got red trend indicator balls, this is bullish. We're still in the uptrend channel. Nothing is broken here. It's just going to take some time to rest. Remember, we had some really nice moves in the SMH. So a little bit of consolidation before the next breakout would be absolutely normal. So don't get spooked on these red trend indicator balls till we start breaking through major support. That's when you want to be weary, get into your bear mode. But as long as we're not breaking major support, it's normal for us to come down and test the top of major support, even test minor support. As long as we keep bouncing off major and minor support, we're still good. We're still in bullish territory. We're still in a bullish bias. But if we start breaking major support, that's when you want to be a bear. So that's SMH. Now let's go look at the transports. Here's your transports. Beautiful daily uptrend here. Almost starting a new channel up here. We'll see what happens with the transports. We had an MMRP. Here's that 4-day MMRP on the transports. Nice move up, pull back, almost a measured move. We could probably quad line this out and see what it comes out to be for the measured move. Might as well do that right now. So we'll take it from here to there. And the point of origin would be right here, this red candle. So I'll pull that up to there. And I'll duplicate the box. And I'll stack it up on top of the midpoint. So on that move, we did come through and complete the measured move up there. Like to see this bull flag on the top of this channel right here and start a new channel. Don't know if that's what we're going to get, but that's what I'd like to see. No guarantees, but things are looking good with this daily trend coming up to help support the bull flag right up here, making higher lows and higher highs. Very bullish sign on the IYT. So transports are looking good. Now let's go take a look at the XLF. So here's our XLF. Still producing. We got a high here, got a higher low. We barely got a higher high there. Again, we're looking for the XLF to start trading up here in the upper third of the last move. That would be very bullish for price action. But if we take it what it's done so far, let's just back this out and measure what's happening right now. Okay, right now it's trading in the upper third of this bearish flag. All right, so we're up in the upper third, creating a pullback and challenging the midpoint of the pullback. Still like to see it get up over the midpoint and start producing candles up here over the midpoint. So we'll see what happens if we can break through this midpoint. This looks to be our probably our fourth time. 1, 2, 3. This is our fourth challenge, and maybe even a fifth if you want to count that spike that we had from Friday. So XLF is looking good, and I would expect JPM and Citibank. I don't know how the analysts got their numbers positioned, but I would expect them to have good news. as far as outlook, even though maybe the numbers don't stack up exactly right. But I think the verbiage for the outlook is going to be positive for those big banks, especially Citigroup, JP Morgan Chase, and all of them. I think the economy is running pretty good. The only thing that's concerning is the inflation. Yeah, I took that from that pivot low that on that one. I can explain it later. Just ask me about it a little bit later, CJ. I'll go over it with you. So there's the XLF. So we do have quite a bit of bullish activity in the market. Still, we're not ready to roll over yet. Everything is looking good. Again, CPI data coming out Wednesday. So now let's go take a look at just a few commodities. All right. So let's look at gold. Gold's in a downtrend. Looks like we had an hourly uptrend right here. Now it's pulling back. Now, whether this is going to produce a lower low or it's going to start the first higher high of a possible 2-hour uptrend. We'll see on gold. I got the wrong one. Gold right here. So gold is still in a daily downtrend, and it has no 1-hour uptrend. So still in a daily downtrend, challenging the trendicator right there. Good morning, Mike. Yeah, I got the wrong one. So there's gold. Now silver. Silver still in a daily downtrend. Kind of got stuck up, if you ask me, on probably close to the midpoint there. So trying to climb back up over into the midpoint right there on silver. That was a ridiculously fast rally right there on silver. You can't maintain that, and you can see it didn't. It failed. So here's a note. When you see stocks shoot up at this ridiculous blast off rate, those will eventually come to an end and give you the pullback to get in. So when people say don't chase, this is exactly why not to chase, because they can't maintain this for long. They can maintain it for a while, like a month, maybe a couple weeks, but after that, you're going to get some pullbacks in here. They need to rest. They need to cool off. So here's the rest and cool off. Possible double bottom here happening in silver. So we could see some spike ups pretty soon. We'll see what happens with the CPI. Yeah, 45 is pretty much normal. That's more of a, I don't know what that is. That's more of like almost a 70-degree angle there. So there's silver. Now let's go take a look at UNG. And I'm going to have to zoom in on this one. So UNG has started a daily uptrend, has not broken this bear flag yet, but has started a daily uptrend and now has pulled back to this channel on Friday, and it's bouncing up through this channel. We do not want to see a head and shoulders pattern develop. We really need price action to get back up over 720 and start challenging this peak right here, which is about 754. So far, if that's today's candle, which it looks like it is, we're headed back in the right direction so far on the UNG. So there's our UNG, USO. I think USO is still in its massive bull bear flag. So here's the bear flag for USO. And let me trash that, get rid of that, grab my pen. And you can see here's our move down with a big bearish flag. And you can see the commodities are starting to challenge their recent highs. So here's USO challenging the recent high. You can see UNG is just challenged its recent high right there, and it's kind of making the higher low right here, which is a sign for the bulls. It's going to be pressure on the bulls to produce yet again another higher high. So it's going to be a tall order for them to get back up over 8. We'll see what they can do. Like to see it get over 8 and then start another bull flag up over the $8 mark. That would be kind of between the $8 mark and the $10 mark. I think that could be coming soon in UNG. We have another winter coming up. I mean, we're halfway through the year. So we're halfway through July, almost, somewhat. And I think winter's coming. And I think UNG and USO could see some lift coming into the winter. Not that this winter is going to be any worse than any other winter, but I think demand is just only going to increase. So there's our commodities. Okay, we got UNG, we got oil, silver, and gold. So now take a look at SLB. Yeah, that's just a big igniting bar up from Friday. Just a rocket ship up, challenging this high. So let's take a look at, here's a downtrend right there. And you can see now they're up, challenging this high right here. So they're right into the resistance line. I would expect this right here, Devin, to bull flag. I would expect this to bull flag from here because you're right into resistance. See that right there? Either bull flag or just kind of consolidate right in this area and then eventually start moving up to tackle this high, and this high right there. So the next move for SLB is going to be slow and probably really slow with all of this consolidation that we've had here. So it's going to take them a while to get through that. And don't be surprised if it takes them a month to get through any of this, or even if it gets shot back down to challenge these highs right here, this minor support area. Okay, don't be surprised if that happens. All right, traders, that's it right now. I'll take questions at noon. I'm going to turn the recorder off, and I'll see you guys not at noon, at 9. I meant 9. I'm sorry. So I'll take questions at 9. And so put them in there, and I'll answer them all. Probably about 9:10. I know some of you like to listen to Rick, so I want you to be able to listen to what he's got to say. And we'll take a look at those questions and open up the market. All right, so see you guys in about 40 minutes.